Hey guys, this is the Board Game Rundown, and this is a huge stack of games that we want to give away to you guys for subscribing. So check out the video with all the details. And now on to your regular scheduled programming, however they say that. Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Spencer.
This is a Board Game Rundown. This week, we have got games we played, news, Kickstarters, crowdfunding, and a top 5.
There you go.
Sounds like most weeks.
Games, it is, like most weeks.
Okay.
This week's top 5 is like unique or interesting implementations of dice in games. We didn't want to just say dice games.
Right, because there's like 100 million dice games.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So something
you could say
different
Monopoly's
about
a dice game, right?
As
So
long as
we're-
dice are a super main mechanic driving gameplay.
If there's
I think
snow on
it's
the
fine.
tile, it's a
If there's
dice
snow,
game.
exactly. If there's snow on the tile, it's winter themed.
Winter-themed dice game.
Still counts.
Ridiculous.
I played that game next to a bin of dice.
That's right.
It is
So
clearly
it
a
counts.
dice game.
I rolled a die and it said I should play that game.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
rolled
and I
dice.
was
You
like-
went first. So you know, hey.
Dice game.
Anyway,
So, games we played.
games we played. I have a really long list.
Oh,
Yeah?
good.
Really?
Yeah,
I got a
really short.
decent list.
I have an okay list.
Okay.
Since I had the shortest list, I'll go for
all right,
that.
go
Let's
short.
go for that.
Played Bloodborne again.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah, right
All
on.
Yeah. We actually did the campaign mode.
Oh,
so
nice.
What?
yeah,
So
we did the campaign because
cool.
you guys didn't show up. It
We
was
did the
actually- it
campaign
was pretty
because
good.
you didn't show up.
That sounds about right.
They're not here. Let's do something fun. It's
a friend-
change.
We
Friends and
weren't going
family
to do the
campaign.
campaign mode if
Oh.
they showed up. Anyway, it's pretty cool. You spend an action to actually talk with the poor person who's dying in the middle of the street, and you have to find out why they're dying in the middle of the street.
This game sounds terrible.
Turns out they've been
Spoilers.
poisoned, and you're now I've gotta, and more missions are opening up, and you're trying to get more inspiration tokens for doing the different missions. And if you get so many, you finish the hunt out. There's 3 chapters in the first one, and we won, but we forgot part of it that was kind of important, like the boss.
Oops.
We forgot
did
to
the boss.
summon the
So
boss.
you didn't win if you didn't fight the
Wow.
boss. That's
What?
like,
I played
You
all the
didn't
that's like
game.
I completed all the side quests in this, but I never bothered fighting
No, you
Sephiroth.
didn't need
so
to fight the boss.
We won.
You just needed to get 5 inspiration tokens.
Oh, okay.
And so the boss is just actually around to like hunt you down as you're doing it.
Sure.
But there were so many of us spread about the board. I don't
That
think
ain't
it would've mattered.
Bloodborne then. That ain't
boy.
Bloodborne. That boss, you gotta fight that boss. You gotta
So
die about
Bloodborne
37
is
times.
is the newest Simon game, right?
Yes.
Yes, delivering from Kickstarter.
Is that Eric Lang? Did Eric Lang do
You
Bloodborne?
know, I don't remember.
I don't remember. Who
I
did
feel
Bloodborne.
like if it was Eric Lang, we would know that it was Eric Lang.
maybe.
I feel very confident.
But yeah, okay, right on.
I
Bloodborne.
also played Canvas
Oh,
Right,
nice.
sweet.
again.
Yeah.
How was Canvas?
It's fun.
Mhm.
we
It's short.
have a review of Canvas that will also link to a how to play if that
Yep.
interests you.
There
Yeah.
you go. Done by Bob and Dan. They did an awesome job.
Hey,
so
thanks.
Good
It
times.
was the first one.
Yeah, won't be the last.
Won't be the last.
Well, we're talking about that, but
Yeah.
Ooh.
there are discussions.
Sorry,
Sorry, you weren't in the room when it happened.
Oh boy, all the musical references. Bobby, why don't you throw one at us?
Sure. So we played this game last week. I played Tim's copy. I tried to get him to trade it. He went on trade it, so I found a cool version
I saw
online.
that. Yeah.
Black Fleet. Oh, the minis
Yeah.
are so cool. I love these boats. Pick up delivery with some pirates in there trying to steal your stuff.
So
it was a good time.
So you still loved it playing it again, right?
I did.
And who'd you
Awesome.
play it
Yeah.
with?
I played it with Brandon and Ben.
Okay.
Yep. Brandon was a little upset because I got one of the cards that allowed me to use the Navy people, like pirates, basically.
Oh, nice.
Like, I don't get to keep. I got 3 doubloons for attacking somebody, and they would lose their cargo,
Sure.
but I don't get to bury it, obviously.
Oh, right.
And yeah, they were pretty upset by that.
Did everyone, though, this game get the same amount of turns as everyone else?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, then it's fair, I think.
Yeah. Much fairer than the previous game we played.
Yeah, no, Black Fleet is a
Yeah,
solid game. Kind
solid
of hard to
game.
find right now.
Yeah,
but
I was really surprised at what I was able to pay for, considering it was completely painted.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
The ships look good too.
They
I
do.
saw the pictures.
Yeah, they look really nice. And like, the doubloons that come with it are small and metal, and they're okay.
Yeah, they're great coins.
Yeah.
They're great coins. Even but the ones that come in the game
They're fine.
for a game like that to have
Yeah.
metal coins,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
right?
I was pretty surprised that I had metal coins in it, like in the base game.
Sure.
But they are like small, and like I have nicer doubloon.
Oh,
looking
right. Yeah,
ones,
why
so
not?
Why not?
Why not?
Yep.
I'll go next because it was a game that I played with Dan that I cannot stop thinking about and I'm totally obsessed with. And I kind of knew I would be, but then Dan being my dealer, I guess.
I was like, what?
Has completely gotten me, like, it was like, okay, he enabled me to
First
have an
one's free.
excuse
Yeah.
to get into X-Wing, Star Wars X-Wing, the miniatures game. Now, I've just been getting first edition stuff.
Because I still have all my first
Because you have first edition stuff. It's easy to get right now, and it's cheap. So fine, whatever. And I already kind of knew, because I played a lot of Warhammer and like skirmish games early on in my gaming hobby career, that this was going to be right up my alley. Did not disappoint.
Dude.
I played terribly, and I'm like just having a blast.
This is the first time I've played in years, and I mean, the whole time I was standing, I was just like, man, what a great game, what a great experience.
We had I had a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Dan smoked me. He had his like favorite pilot out, and I'm trying to chase this tiny little ship around.
Oh yeah, so anyone who knows X-Wing probably knows the Tycho. He's insanely fun to play. He's by far my favorite pilot in the game. Now, I haven't played everyone, of course, but from what I've played, he's just insanely fun, just doing all these insane maneuvers while he's just fully stressed out, and he's just like, I don't care. And so I did my Tycho build, and I just a great time. If you follow us on Facebook, on the Board Game Rundown's Facebook page, we were posting pictures while we were playing it and stuff. So you can get on that and comment about what's happening.
I have already bought like several more ships since we have played, and I'm looking forward to getting those in so that I can work on my.
See, I'm in a rough spot because
builds.
I don't need to buy more ships at this point. Like, I mean, I definitely could, but I have all the stuff that I want. My problem now is I kind of want to start buying the conversion kits because now I can start getting the better rules and stuff, but I can't buy the conversion kits until he accepts that he's willing to buy the conversion kits because I can't be playing second edition while he's playing first edition.
Well, basically, when I can't get like Ghost or Slave One, like, for a reasonable price, then I'll have to like just bite the bullet and get the conversion kits. It kind of reminds me though of playing Magic with Bob, where it's like Bob is really good at Magic and has been in it for a long time.
Yeah.
And so after like playing a bunch of games with Bob, and you kind of know what decks that are his go-to decks, it's sort of like Dan's got his go-to pilot build. So now I'm just got to sit at home in a dark room and build something to specifically counter that team, just like I used to try poorly and never succeeded to counter some of Bob's decks.
Don't worry.
I guess every once in a while I get lucky.
Everybody likes to draw cards.
Next time we play, you're gonna have this amazing Tycho counter. I'm gonna be like, oh, I decided to play my Empire build today.
Right.
And be like, oh. But yeah, fantastic game, guys.
Yeah, it was an awesome time. I was really excited about it. I was glad to get to play it. I had high expectations and did not disappoint at all. Nice. So yeah.
Sure. I'm gonna run through my couple little things that I didn't play with you, because then we'll talk about that later. But so I played Star Fluxx with the family. I enjoy Star Fluxx. I will say,
is that Fluxx but the star variant?
Yeah, it's basically Fluxx in space.
Okay,
that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, it has every sci-fi reference in there.
In space.
So yeah, we played that. It went a little long for what Fluxx usually is, but I don't care. Whatever.
Fluxx always seems to go long.
It's really? Oh man. Okay.
But I've only played a handful of times.
I've literally had people win Fluxx in like 3 turns before.
Sure, yeah.
It's crazy.
That might seem long.
We played. Oh wow.
Feel the love.
Nice.
We played Concluzio.
So good.
Fantastic puzzling pixel deduction card game. We have a review for it here. We love this game.
Yes.
It not because we know the designer, just because it is a fantastic game, guys.
It's really good.
It is insanely cheap, fits in your pocket, and it gives you a deduction feeling that is true. Like, it's not just like an easy card game, you know. Like, it's really good. We were playing. There were 3 or 4 of us playing, and we had a 4th person. That's right, because it was their first time playing. And guess what, guys?
I bet they said, I want to play again.
The second we finished playing, she said, okay, I can do this. Let's go again. And I was like, yeah.
I would just bet money that that's what the new people are going to say.
Just like, hold on,
time.
and then write down that you're going to play.
Exactly.
And like, what's that? Don't worry about it. Yeah. And then you play, and they're like,
was this your card?
Yeah, exactly right.
You seal it in an envelope and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, light on fire. But,
cool.
Just a fantastic time. We played like 2 or 3 times or something.
Yeah,
so good.
It's really good. I'm excited. I love that game.
We played a ridiculous game that I'm calling guessing expletive. Anyway, my brother and I were really tired at like 3 a.m. once, and we both just grabbed a card from a normal deck of cards, and we held it. We looked at our own card, and we were just trying to guess what the other person's card was by giving clues of our own card, right? So I would be like, your card is probably higher than mine. and stuff, right? And then he would go, okay, your card, all right? And we would just do that until we could guess each other's card.
Wow.
We did it for like an hour or two, and we were like, we are so tired. Like,
Disclaimer: I don't think Dan does drugs, but I'm not sure.
There's no evidence of that. One way or the other.
No,
There's kind of evidence of one way.
Well, that's true. That's true.
but yeah, so I gotta say, it was really fun for such a stupid
So look
thing.
forward to Dan's new game coming out.
Yeah. Guessing
Expletive.
expletive.
You know that's going to be stolen by one of the people who's doing it.
Yeah. So then we played an actual card game, though. We were literally just like, let's just play an easy game. I literally got on Google, scrolled for basic card games that I hadn't heard of before, and I found a game called Kings in the Corner.
Yeah, I used to play that growing up.
That is an amazing card game.
Yeah.
I was literally
never
blown
heard of
away
Yeah,
by how
like-
good that card game
Like
was.
Kings down on the corners, and you're also like discarding on the sides of the deck.
Yeah. There's the deck's in the middle. Everyone has a hand of 7 cards, and then you flip a card on the orthogonal sides.
Yep.
And then you just play a card. It has to be the opposite color, so red versus black,
Alternate colors.
and in descending order. And then if you ever get a king, you play it in one of the corners behind the things. And it's just whoever runs out of cards first wins.
Yep.
It has this feeling like solitaire to me, where you're lining the stuff
sure.
up and everything.
A little bit.
But it genuinely, like,
Yeah.
my brother and I were sitting
That's
there
crazy.
like, this is a great game. We
Yeah.
played it so many times in a row.
That's
so,
an upstate New York thing, I think. I played that a lot when I
yeah,
lived in New
yeah.
York.
I had never heard it before. It's probably my favorite card game now.
Yeah,
Like,
really?
I don't like over any other simple.
Sure,
52
if
whatever
you're just
game.
going to
Yeah.
buy a bicycle deck
Exactly.
of cards,
That would be the game
Kings
I
in the
would
Corner
I
is
would
the one you're
show
gonna teach.
someone. Yeah, I loved
Right
it.
on.
We played so many
funny.
times.
What, next week's top 5 list?
The best games with King in the title. And
Not where I was going with that.
that is,
Well,
I
if-
know.
If it's Prince, the king is coming.
But that is my list of not played with Tim's
So let's see
games.
what else Bob's got, and then we can run through our lists
So
together.
my other two, I also played Canvas. It wasn't with Spencer, but I did play with some other people. And we also played Dune Imperium, which at first was one of the worst games of
Really?
Dune Imperium I've ever played. Brandon was at 8. Ben and I were both at 1.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
He had no idea what he was doing. It was his first time, and every single time he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna go here." And I'm like, "That's where I needed to go." And then he'd go over here, "That's where I needed to go." And he just kept thwarting me at every turn. I was all lined up because there was a card to take that was gonna cost like 8, right? And like it was gonna boost all of my things up 1. I was gonna get 4 victory points out of it. He's like, "Well, I guess I'll just take this." I'm like, "No!" Like he took like everything I needed.
Sure.
But finally at the very, very end, I caught all the way back up to him, and then he beat me, and it was 10-9.
Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
Ben only had like 4 or 5 at the end there, but yeah, I caught.
You didn't have to mention
caught
that.
Way, yeah, I needed to. I caught way up to him though, but he still managed to stay ahead of me. Though.
Right on.
Man,
Cool.
I was doing so bad. I couldn't believe we're both way far behind.
That
and
game
Ben
is
way
so
for Brandon.
tough and punishing.
It is infuriatingly
Yeah.
difficult, but I think it's worth it at the end.
Oh
you know?
yeah, I still had fun playing it. Like,
yeah.
and trying to challenge myself to come back and like, okay, I'm just gonna get a bunch of spice. I'm gonna go to that spot and get 5 dudes, put them all in the middle of the conflict.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take all
You're
those
gonna
conflicts.
die.
That's right.
I didn't mention just this was actually a couple weeks ago, but I was able to play Dune Imperium. I think I mentioned on the show I played it, but I didn't tell you. I just hadn't seen before. You've now played it way more times than me, I'm sure. We finally had a combat that was almost like 40 combat strength.
Wow.
It was insane how like Zach and I, it literally got to like 39 versus 38 combat or
Wow.
something. I beat him by 1 combat, and it was
Wow.
like to win the game. And
Yeah.
it was like I had never seen finally we got to the point where we were flipping over the thing to the 20 combat and still going like really high,
Wow.
kind of, and
Yeah.
we were just like, this is intense. We want to win.
Yeah, we never
You
got
know?
we never got that high. I think
Yeah.
we had one that was like 22 to 18 or something.
Oh, sure.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got insanely high, but
'Cause I think
that
the
was
one
a good
time I
feeling.
played, it was the high ones were like 18.
Yeah, we never broke
17.
20 when we
yeah,
played.
but never 20. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
It got intense.
That is awesome. So Dan and I got together because I had a game from one of my favorite companies that is a variant of one of my all-time favorite games.
One of.
My all-time favorite game. Cthulhu Wars Duel. We got a copy of. We will be doing an official review soon. I just need to play it with more guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
So everybody else can kind of get in on it.
Sure.
But it is basically Cthulhu Wars boiled down to a 2-player duel. And it's clearly set up for extra for the other factions
Yeah.
that are already in existence.
Okay.
And other than that, it's basically Cthulhu Wars, but 2-player. The interesting thing is how you score points. So instead of scoring points for your gates, they gates still gather power for you, but instead you get points for it's basically the power cost of the unit you just killed.
Oh.
Oh,
So
okay.
killing great old ones are big,
good.
big
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
And if like Cthulhu has a variable
Strength.
power cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's 10 to bring out the first time, and then he's like
4, 6,
4
yeah.
every other time. So what they do is you average it between the two, round up. So it was like 7 points to kill Cthulhu. And unfortunately for Dan, I've played Cthulhu Wars, a million times, but we had a really, we had
you
a
still,
really
like, spell
good.
books you're trying to.
Oh yeah,
unlock?
absolutely.
The
Everything
player
else
board,
is
the player board looks the exact same.
everything
Okay.
else is exactly the same. You've got standees.
Yep.
You know,
and
instead.
it's just around Arkham, right?
This map
And
is
it's
just
got
around Arkham.
portals.
So it still functions
So
the
it
same
still
way.
wraps
They wrap around.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if it's got a portal on this side and a portal on this side, you can only have one gate in that colored portal area.
Okay.
So like for the yellow portal, you can only have one gate. So if there's already a gate in this yellow portal, you can't put one over here
Okay.
because it's
Essentially
essentially
the same space.
right.
kind of.
So in the Pacific Ocean, wraps around to this side of the map in regular Cthulhu Wars.
Right,
There's
it's the
already
same
a
thing.
gate.
Sure.
So thematically, it's all the same.
Right.
Just boiled down to this like
two-player
hardcore,
version.
and because of the way you score points, you have to fight
Right.
because that's the only way. And I had a really good time. We live streamed a full play. And
Yeah, we mentioned our Facebook earlier. We live streamed our entire first playthrough. It was a little under an hour, I think, and we will live stream the entire
Not
first
bad.
playthrough. So if you follow us on the Facebook, you'll just watch us learn games. On
right.
The, on
And
the fly.
another neat thing that really came into play and affects strategy is there's a decay track. Okay, so it's this little marker that goes up on the score track, basically. Okay, and so if I run out of power and Dan's still got like 6 power, the decay track on my turn that I can't do anything moves up a spot. Now Dan has to pay 1 power before he can take any of his other actions. Then it goes around again. My next time it goes up to 2. So now he's got to pay 2 power.
It kind of help with the runaway leader, so he's not just taking tons and tons of actions.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Very
And so
nice.
it really affected like what we could do on some
sure.
turns because it's like, well, now I can't even do anything.
Right. Interesting.
So it was a really interesting twist. I really look forward to playing it. If we didn't have other stuff we wanted to play, I was going to tell you like switch factions
try
and
again.
just play again.
Sure.
Because it played so fast and the learning curve is very easy
Right.
that it would be easy to do that. So anyways, Cthulhu Wars Duel, we'll have a review of it.
Yeah. Cool.
But,
Your
we,
playthrough, by the way, was hilarious with Clark.
oh, yeah,
Video
Clark was in on
bombing you
it.
through the whole,
And then knocking the camera
got
over.
Yeah,
and then-
that was
I fell out of my seat
Oh
laughing.
man, I saw
it.
it.
Was
Looked
hilarious.
so movie thematic. Like you see the camera go flying, and Tim's like, no.
He's sneaking behind and making faces, and then he disappears. And like, where'd he go? And suddenly the camera just like, oh, it's so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
so good.
funny.
We also played Shores of Tripoli.
Yep, we did.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about Shores of Tripoli.
I was going to talk about the other one because it was easier. So Shores of Tripoli is a 1v1. It's kind of area control-y, but it's more of he has an objective he has to accomplish to win. I have an objective I have accomplished to win based off the actual history, of course.
Right.
I was playing the American Marines, and you were playing,
The
I don't know
Tripoli-
how to say it, Tripolitarian?
Pirates.
Tripolitarian?
Yes.
I don't
The
know.
Pirates of Tripoli.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what I was playing.
And yeah, so basically it's you have your own deck of cards.
Uh-oh. You're falling apart
Yeah, a
here.
piece fell off my mic. That's why I'm adjusting it. Basically, you each have a deck of cards that is asymmetric, of course, to your faction. And then you are drawing 6 cards and playing some as actions against each other, which are moving your ships around, sending armies different places. A lot of what he was doing was raiding.
Yep.
Which is just basically stealing my gold from me. And if
Yeah.
I run out of gold, he instantly wins the game because I
Yep.
can't fund my troops anymore. I would tell you what I was doing, but I didn't do it. So I don't fully know. I basically, though, I was trying to do the harder objective, which is part of the reason I lost it, because I was like,
Yeah.
the harder objective is so much cooler
It
that I
is
just
really
want to try to
cool.
do it. So I basically had to clear 3 zones of all people on it to make them free, right? Then I had to get an army in a certain area, move that army and win a certain battle, and then move that army and win a certain
Basically,
battle.
you had to recreate history.
Yes.
Which was really hard
All
to
in
do.
the correct order and all between 1804 and 1806. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it before then. It had to happen in those that
right.
3-year span.
Wow.
And it was very difficult. But again, I had seen like a trailer for the game or something. So I went into it blind, and
Sure.
it was really difficult, but we had a great time. As a matter of fact, to the game's credit, what did I say the second we stopped playing?
Oh, you were like, I'm obsessed with this. I need to read all the cards.
Yeah,
and
well,
learn
that's I
everything.
forgot I even said that. Honestly, you're right. I said, man, I want to read all the cards and figure out the strategy here. But no, right when we were done playing, I said, do you want to play again? Because
Yeah.
I really want to.
If it wasn't 2 in the morning,
exactly.
we would have played again.
Yeah, it was the last one we played. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you had such a good time because it's relatively straightforward to learn. It's so tough to decide to play this card as an event. So I'm going to get all this awesome stuff. but I also kind of need to do this action. So I could discard a card from my hand to do an action. And then it's like, well, which card do I discard?
Right.
Yeah,
And there's
and you each have 3 cards in front of you that are like insanely powerful once per game actions. That were famous things that happened or whatever.
right. So
yeah.
for a history-based game, I mean, it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a
We'll
nice
also
little
do a
skirmishy
review of
area
that.
control-y game.
But
yeah.
we learned and played in under an hour.
Oh yeah, easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. That's pretty good.
And for a really neat kind of not deck builder but hand management, you're drawing so many cards at the end of each year.
I will say, if the American team wins, the game will take longer because he has to do things in a certain time at the end of the game. So because Tim won, the game was shorter than if I had won, right? But it still played very quickly.
Yeah,
I didn't feel any downtime. You're reading all your cards.
I think at the most that game would have gone 15 minutes more if we
Sure.
had gone to the end to the final
because we were
year.
in the year before the last year or
Yeah.
whatever. When it,
So I mean, we were really close. So, but yeah, Shores of Tripoli was a lot of fun. I really liked it.
I saw your pictures.
And then we played Empyrean Hero.
Yeah, Empyrean Hero, the card game by G. Wesley Cohn.
Yep.
Self-published card game.
Yep,
I
it
think
was
you've talked about it on
was
the
a Kickstarter
segment.
Yeah,
before.
so like almost a year ago.
Yeah.
It was on Kickstarter. It funded. It's this really interesting like deck drafting. So they've got these card sets that you're gonna pick, and then there's like the heroes that you're gonna draft.
Yeah, it's almost like hand building. You have an asymmetric deck
Right.
that is made at the beginning of the game, and then there's a hero deck. And basically on your turn, you take one of 4 actions. There is heal, enhance, recruit, and overkill or overpower. Yeah,
Which is hero.
Spells
Hero.
hero. And yeah, so basically you are recruiting heroes to your hand, you're playing them down, and then you're enhancing them with like attacks and defense. So they have an attack power and a defense power, so 30 and 40, right? And then you can put more on them. And there doesn't seem to be, we were learning on the spot, there doesn't seem to be a limit we could find. So
you could
like
have some dudes
you can get some really
jacked.
powerful guys, but then there are also like, trap cards and ability cards in the game that just like
Wipe out all that stuff.
kill a hero and all enhancements on him kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you
So-
gotta bounce it a little bit.
And then so you
You
have
do.
a sky base, and basically the goal is kill the other player's sky base, right? So you're trying to defeat their heroes to open up their sky base to do direct attacks on their sky base. And yeah, so that classic Star Realms feeling, right? We're trying to get attacks onto the base kind of thing. And yeah, this was another one actually. This one was the first one we played, I think.
it was first
and
thing we
right after
played.
playing, I said, "Man, I really want to read all these cards," and because there's definitely like. Right after playing, I was like, "This game's deep."
Yeah, there's
Like,
a lot of
the
there's a lot of
decision making
combos.
here is crazy.
There's a lot of
strong.
combos, and it was kind of swingy too because early on I hit Dan real hard, and I was
it
like,
was bad. And
I was like,
"Uh-oh."
he's wide open, like I'm in good shape. And then he played a bunch of stuff, and I had kind of like shot my load early, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, oh no! So then I had to like figure out and like rebuild, and then I kind of had like this really good, powerful force with all these things, and then Dan's like, all the ability cards go away. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and I had the way that I won. I really want to talk about because it's very interesting tactic here to where. I guessed, again, are we playing this 100% correct? I'm not entirely sure. We still need to do more research on the game. That's why we're not reviewing it today.
Right.
But basically, there's a limited amount of heroes in the game. Once you go through that deck, that's it. And then once you can't play, once you have no heroes in front of you for 3 turns in a row, you lose.
Oh.
So what I wound up doing was I guessed. I was like, I don't think Tim has any more heroes in his hand. I think he now has his forces on the thing. So I purposely drafted the last hero that was out and took a hit because you can't do anything else the turn you recruit.
Right.
So I recruited and Tim hit me really hard. But then I was able to play an ability card that just did, or no, I purposely attacked one of his units that when attacked destroys every card on the field, including itself. So I purposely killed all my guys by attacking his unit, cleared the board, and just played that last hero that I just recruited. And now Tim just has to sit there
And lose.
while and as every turn goes by, he gets closer to losing. As I was just able to sit there and hold my defenses up, kind of thing,
That's funny.
And it was just such an intense ending because I was like, I don't have this, and I literally was like, I'm gonna draft that hero, and if Tim doesn't have a hero in his hand, I win. Like I'm just leading it to fate.
And so that also is like, okay, so sometimes don't just put all your
don't
guys
play
out.
all your heroes.
right?
Yeah,
And-
keep a backup.
But it was fun. I actually we had a pretty successful game night. I specifically, it was like just Dan and I because I wanted to play Star Wars X-wing.
And Tripoli was 2 players only as well.
But so it was like we're gonna play X-wing. Like I want to play X-wing.
And Duel was 2 players
So
only.
so we
I forgot.
specifically played a bunch of 2-player games.
Sure.
for the night, and I mean, we batted 1,000 as far as I'm concerned. As far as like playing, good,
I know the biggest negative of the night is we both won 2 games.
Yeah,
so we
so-
learned nothing.
we don't know who's better.
That's all that matters.
Well, X-Wing, you've played a ton of.
sure.
And
and
you
Duel,
won.
you've
And
played a ton
Cthulhu
of.
Wars, I played
Sure.
a ton of. And then on the rando new games,
Yeah,
we
one
broke
for
even.
one.
So, but yeah, it worked out really well. We got to play. It's harder to sometimes to get the 2-player
Oh,
games
for sure.
going.
For sure.
But
So yeah, that was the longest games we played segment ever. Hopefully you stuck around because we love talking
Yeah, that
about
was,
these games.
that was a pretty long
And
one.
we
yeah,
missed
it
one.
was.
Oh, and we've missed one
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we
sure.
did play Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
We did.
because we have a review coming out this week. or
It's
soon.
really good.
3.
Without
Thanks, Bob.
Yep.
without seeing the without telling you what we finally reviewed it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just tell you overwhelmingly positive,
Yep,
and
it was
just
solid.
check it out.
Yep, check it out.
If you can't wait for the review,
Oh, the editor says who won that one. I personally can't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't,
either.
yeah,
I don't remember either. It wasn't his birthday either.
No.
Yeah,
So-
no.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't because.
So
it
it's
was
not
his
your birthday, right?
No.
Is it your birthday?
It's not my brother's birthday.
It's not your brother's birthday.
No, mine's
Right.
soon. I could see why you might get that confused.
Right. It's definitely not mine.
yet.
Mine's months away. So I don't know. We have no way of telling who won this game. But
Zero.
so yeah, I guess it was a wash. But overall, really good game.
Yep.
And yeah, so stay tuned for that review. Are we now? You got any more other games?
No, that
Since
was all
Dan
my
and I
games.
hugged, sucked
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the
And
games.
after you guys sucked the air out of the room for 20 minutes, I'm good.
We had some awesome games to talk about, though.
Bob's like, I did play more games, but I am bored of talking.
Yep. I've been Bob.
All right, guys. So let's go on to news.
Yes.
Do we have people to present news?
No,
Yes,
you guys go first.
We have to do our news first.
Yep.
then
Okay,
they
we'll
go
do
into
our
their
news
you are
first.
not included.
Mine is super quick, so I'm going to jump ahead of time.
Do it.
All right. Dan talked about this last week a little bit, the Vienna connection. The pre-orders are now open.
Oh, right on.
Yep, you can go to portalgamesusa.com and pre-order. And kind of like a Kickstarter where you have like Kickstarter like exclusives, they're doing
Yeah.
pre-order exclusives.
right
so
on.
you can get like
That's
upgraded
not-
bits and
That's
things
a nice
like
way
that.
to do things.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
respect that.
No, it's crazy how they're doing it because they're doing that, and then they're also doing the unlocks per
Yeah,
day
they have
thing
reveals.
like
So if you
Kickstarter.
follow them, you can get their emails, and they basically give you a breakdown of all the reveals they've done, and they do like a review like every couple of days or so.
Yeah, yeah.
And they give away more things, and then
It's a
if,
really
as long
cool
as you're
system.
pre-ordering, you'll
Yeah.
qualify for all of that.
I can dig
So,
it. That's
yeah.
a really nice
Yeah.
way to do. I almost feel like the big companies that would automatically
They should
fund
kind
their
of move to
Kickstarters,
something like that.
it seems more fair.
It does.
to do
because
something like
they
that.
don't need the crowdfunding.
Yeah.
So
Right.
move it to your own
I
website.
mean, Simon's games are they're gonna make that game regardless.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Potter
I'm-
Snitch game.
I'm
you know.
so torn right now on whether to get Vienna Connection or wait for House Secrets. I'm
Yeah.
so torn.
Tell you what, I'll get House
No.
Secrets, and you can get Vienna Connection.
I feel like the other way should happen.
Why? 'Cause it's 1977, and it might have been a year I was born. It just reminds me I'm old.
You are.
Yeah, but
older
it
than
reminds
me.
me. I know I'm the oldest one.
Tim?
Okay, so Cryptozoic, who makes DC Duck Builder, and
and like everything else.
they make a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But they're going to be publishing this year a game called The Dark Knight Returns, which is based on the very famous Frank Miller graphic novel.
I saw that.
And it is a solo game. And here's the interesting thing, and I don't know exactly what they mean by this, but in their press release, you can play through a campaign mode or you can play like one shots. But if you
Sure.
play the campaign, it is more, instead of leveling up, it is a battle of attrition
Yeah.
because you are starting to get hurt.
And because you're old. 'Cause it
Yeah,
comes out of
because it's
retirement.
old Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's even like Superman in there and all
Mhm.
kinds of stuff.
I saw
So
that.
I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with it. It looks like there's going to be 2 versions. There's going to be the standard version, and then a deluxe edition, which has a bunch of minis.
Yep.
So I don't know if they're
Okay.
going to do standees or tokens.
You're gonna have
or
to
whatever.
like
Do
get
you
like
know-
ice pack for your knee or -1 movement point.
Right.
Do you
Right.
know the game mechanics yet? Have they talked about
No,
that?
not yet.
Not really,
They have
no.
not said anything
That's
other than
interesting.
basically the theme.
Yep.
And
Going
they
in
show
depth with
they've got a
the theme.
picture of the Batman mini, which looks cool.
Yep.
Cool.
The art style that it's gonna be in.
And then I got one other little bit of news. Hopefully, I don't step on the newsboys' toes. But
ahead.
Isaac Vega, who, by the reaction on your faces, I'm not, the one of the designers of Dead of Winter,
Uh-huh.
and he also was behind Ashes Reborn and Forgotten Waters, has now broken off and launched his own company with a
okay.
friend called. It is called Rose Gauntlet Entertainment. So they're going to be making board games, video games, and role-playing games.
Okay.
Nice.
So their first board game that they've announced is called Keystone, I believe. And so it's something to do with like environmental management in like the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
So
As in Keystone Species.
I believe so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nerd.
Thank you, Spencer.
Uh,
That was Spencer out in the rundown room.
so that's my news.
Now we'll
That's
throw
my
it to the
news.
newsboys.
Yep.
Throw it
All
to the newsboys.
Newsboys! It's the Newsboys! Okay, what do I have?
Katie, we're still taking applications.
I mentioned something last week. I have just a little bit more information on it. I mentioned, isn't there a Monster Hunter game coming out soon?
Yes,
Because we
there
talked about that other
is.
game?
Yeah.
There is. It was announced that it is going to be launching on Kickstarter in April, is what's currently planned. And I
Right
just wanted
after
to,
Primal's done.
Yeah. And I just wanted to mention, because I didn't actually know this, I hadn't seen this, but it's actually being made by Steamforged. I didn't know that. So
right
that's the
on.
Dark Souls guys and
Right.
everything. They do video games a lot. So
Which
that
could
makes
be
sense.
a plus or a minus depending on your experience. with Dark
Exactly.
Souls.
Like I've said with Steamforged before, they are amazing at making the game feel like the thing.
video game or whatever.
So if you're a huge fan of the video game, you will most likely love the board game. That does not necessarily mean it's a great board game, right?
Some things don't just play well as a board
Yeah.
game.
Devil May Cry as well.
Yep. They did Devil May Cry. They also did Horizon Zero Dawn, I
Okay.
believe. Right? So
So
yeah,
they got all the
they're
Capcom
all, they're all
IPs
over
and-
this
yeah.
video
Right on.
game stuff. But yeah, that's one of mine. What do you got?
Do you guys remember a few months back we talked about a Kickstarter called Frostpunk?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
The pre-order is open. You can go onto BackerKit and
Nice.
start ordering it. It's 75 euros for the basic, and you can just go up from there.
Sure.
It's by the same guy who designed Nemesis, so I mean,
Nice. Yeah, I'm pretty
Right.
good.
And it's
there.
based on a video game that is ridiculously well regarded.
Sure.
People love that video
yeah,
game.
yeah. There are so many different things you have to do in this game, and one of them is battle the weather.
Yep.
But you also
Damn you, Cloud!
Think of how mean Robinson Crusoe is with the weather
Oh,
die,
yeah.
and then multiply that by 5.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
I think I kickstarted that one, so it'll be nice to do an unboxing.
Oh,
Oh,
I am
man.
really looking
Yeah.
forward to that because they have this really awesome cube tower that looks
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
When you
the
drop the
cold.
cubes in, the ones that
God.
come out deal damage or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, plus,
It tells you what
it's
machines
got
aren't
this-
working or something.
one of the major
Yeah.
mechanics in it is having to make moral decisions.
Yep.
And the decisions you make are going to impact
Yeah.
what happens, what the people think
it's
of
almost
you.
like a skill tree
Oh.
of decisions that you have to go through.
I
Like one
know.
decision links to another and
Nice.
stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yep.
I don't. It,
It looks
I
super
wish
cool.
I backed this.
Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah,
sound, you know,
yeah. I got the
it
shading
is-
on there and stuff. It's gonna be.
It is
Shading,
also
yeah.
playable, I believe, still on Tabletop Simulator.
Oh, that'd
you
be
can
great.
just
Cool.
you can just try it
Nice.
out.
Even better.
You got any more?
better.
Yeah. So
right.
just a little thing here. They announced Caverna's next expansion.
Oh,
So
okay.
Caverna's getting Frantic Fiends. Basically, there are going to be hostile plundering orcs that are trying to destroy
Nice.
your player board.
Your misery cave.
Because
Yes.
Caverna wasn't hard
Caverna
enough.
is not that bad.
No, it's
not.
way
It's just
better
fun to
than
say.
Agricola.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and if Agricola is Misery Farm, then it has to be Misery Cave.
So it says you can build traps.
I guess you could call it Sadness Hole.
That sounds way worse.
No.
Anyways,
I did.
Dan, go ahead.
So it says you can build traps, or use your trusty axes, which I assume means that your orcs that have tools
dwarves,
might. Sorry, what did I say?
orcs.
They're the bad guys.
They're the bad guys.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
racist.
are you the orcs?
Yeah. Well, I am wondering. The first expansion for Caverna gave you asymmetric races, right? Like you're playing the elves, you're playing the dwarves, you're playing.
Oh, really?
So if one of them was orcs, this game's gonna be kind of.
Civil War.
Yeah, that person's gonna be like, "What the heck?" You know? But anyway, build traps. You can bribe them with wood to weaken them. I don't know what that means.
I don't know how that weakens them, but okay.
And
That's what she
obviously,
said.
if you destroy them, you get precious rewards of some kind. Probably a new Ruby-ish kind of thing, right?
Sure.
But yeah, Caverna is an awesome game. The first expansion is like really hard to find, and there's also like a weird unofficial expansion that like tricks people into getting sometimes. It's really weird.
What?
So
Yeah,
yeah,
talking about Cave vs. Cave?
No,
that's
no.
like a 2-player version.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
turns out me being in this hobby, I know what Caverna Cave vs. Cave is. So, you know.
Well, it turns out you don't know much else about Caverna. So
I'm saying the first expansion is kind of hard to find, and you can find this thing online, I'm telling you, that's like a couple tiles for Caverna or something, but it's not
Like a
an
promo
official expansion for Caverna. Like
so
I
it's
don't,
a promo stuff that somebody made.
I'm telling you, it's not by the same company.
Right.
That's
somebody
what I'm telling
made.
you. Sure, somebody made a promo
Somebody made a
pack, but
thing,
it's
and
not.
it's available, and look
Check
at
it out.
What I'm saying is, I don't think it is licensed and pushed by the people
Sure,
who made
sure.
Caverna. Which
So what you're saying is,
is
it's
like,
a trap.
It's like illegal. But anyway,
Don't get it.
yeah. Anyway, second expansion seems cool.
Cool.
All right.
I like Caverna.
I got one more. Well, actually, I got two more, but I don't think I want to do one of them.
Okay.
So February 15th, a game is going to be coming out to Kickstarter, so keep your eyes open for it. It's called Stroganov by the guy who made Gugong.
Delicious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, good name, good game.
Gugong is good.
Yeah, it's good.
He said
7.
Gugon. That's an interesting crossover.
Going from working to food.
It takes place in 17th century Russia. You're expanding into Siberia, so actually the family Stroganoff, as opposed to the tasty meat,
Oh.
noodle, vegetable.
Man, I was way off.
I'm out.
And I'm still hungry.
It's I call it a 3X. Now I haven't been able to look deeply into detail because it's not yet out. But you do explore, you do expand, and you do exploit the resources. But I didn't see that there was any actual
You exterminate
extermination.
hunger with some delicious pasta.
Yes, yeah.
No, you don't. That's
Oh.
why there's not that fourth
This
X.
sucks.
So we might have that one coming up in 2 weeks.
Right on. Yeah, that
Right,
sounds
so
good. Watch
keep your
for,
eyes open.
I'll
If you
make
like
a note
that
of
kind
that.
of
I
thing.
like to mention ones you guys have already mentioned.
Is that it for the news then?
So someone who was really mad at
think
that
so.
family once was probably like, you and me, we got some beef
I
stroganoff.
just want to point out.
And they were like, that's genius.
Let's be best friends. And they're like, yes. And
Oh
then they
yeah,
frolic.
you mean John Beef and Peter Stroganoff met one day?
Terrible.
We could just be done with the show now for forever. We will never do better than John Beef and Peter Stroganoff. Ever.
I'm going to the beef stroganoff wedding. Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds delicious.
What are they going to serve? Pizza.
Anyway, that's it.
Yep.
So, guys, is there something else I can help you with? Newsboys! Newsboys!
What stinks is that you have to deal with that right after the John Beef and Peter
Yeah, it does pale a bit in comparison.
But I will give you guys credit. You are
Fortunately,
better you're back on your game.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
boy. I mean, we're not going to rate that game yet.
We're working on that game.
Check out our review. Check out Katie's review here.
Yep, check that comment section.
Boom. All right. Okay. So crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've
got
got
one.
two.
I got one.
I got one.
I got one.
because I had so many other things.
Sure.
You guys probably cover the ones I got
But mine's
anyway.
different this week.
I've
Is
been
it
following
now?
this one for a while.
Why don't you
Okay.
do yours?
Go to your one following for a while.
Well, I don't care. I was just saying I was waiting for it. So, Human Punishment at the beginning.
Yes, that was one of mine.
Yep.
It was amazing.
I've had that one saved for a while, waiting for it to come up. It finally came up. So, Human Punishment at the beginning by Godot Games. It might also be Godot.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
But I'm gonna say
Good
Godot.
dot.
It's Godot.
Got
Like
it.
gal.
But yeah. So 3 to 6 player social deduction kind of game. 24 days left. Well funded.
Yeah, February 24th.
$67 to $110.
So it's safe.
Yep. And
Very
shooting
safe.
for a September shipping date. So, yeah, you are all members of Ghost Squad. You all have asymmetric powers of some sort and asymmetric skill trees that you're all working up. So, my skill tree will be different than yours, yes. So there's 4 teams. The humans, who are trying to build a firewall on their computer to protect their network, basically.
Okay.
There are the machines who are trying to hide viruses in the firewalls to get through to the end of the game. There is Legion, who are trying to infect the other players, so I might switch humans to my team, right?
Okay.
And the Legion is trying to get this either the security of the network to 0, right? They're like hackers, or get the enemy threat so high that you can't deal with it. And then there's the Fallen, who is an alone player putting stuff around. I honestly don't fully understand what the Fallen player is trying to do,
No.
but he's the alone player who's just trying to get something done under the radar
Right
of
on.
everyone
Oh,
else.
that's cool.
Yeah, and that's the basics of the game here. You have standees. You're actually moving around the
standees.
board, taking actions, and then so it has the classic Battlestar Galactica mechanic. A lot of these games have it to where there will be events that come up. It'll say you need to have at least a 14. We all put things face down that have numbers on it. You mix some randomly in from a deck as well, from a pool, and then you flip it over, pass, get a good thing, fail, get a bad thing. And while that basic thing's happening, you're doing your hidden rolls, slowly adding these face down things to the firewall, and everyone's just wondering, did he add a hack or what did he add, kind of thing, right? It looks awesome.
It's a semi-co-op.
Yeah, it's a semi-co-op.
Right, yeah, clearly.
From what I
Unlike the others,
described.
Not only does each faction have its own unique winning victory condition, but partway through the game, there's 3 phases, and in phase 2, you get to secretly decide if you're going to change which faction
Oh, yeah,
you're
I
in.
forgot to mention that, yeah.
What?
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, while Legion is still changing people anyway.
Well, this is true.
Yeah.
So,
It's a classic
crazy.
cyberpunk, beautiful looking art. You know,
I
with that
love
neon
the art on this,
robotic
yeah.
thing.
I really
you know?
do
Acrylic
like the art.
standees.
Yep.
And the metal coins.
Yeah, guys, Human Punishment, the beginning, if this interests you, they've already made 2 other Human Punishment games, I believe. So this is like it's just in the same
prequel kind of
universe.
thing?
And it's called The Beginning, so yeah, I assume it's a prequel, but I don't know the lore.
Sure.
But yeah, in the same universe as those other games, and it just looks fantastic. Check this out. I love this type of game.
Yeah.
This is
yeah,
my
that
kind of
sounds
thing.
awesome.
Cool,
I need to look
This
up the
is
price
my
online.
bag, baby.
Who's next?
Sure. I'll go.
All right.
So I got Mob, the
That's
Big
mine.
Apple.
That's
is that
mine.
yours?
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
great.
So it's a 2-player game. Plays about 30 to 45 minutes. Your 2 crime
That's what it was.
families battling for control in the. 'Cause it's 1926, right? New York City, Prohibition, and you're trying to sell crates of booze and things like that.
Right.
And you're controlling area control, dice allocation, worker placement.
And I love the way the dice allocation works. So there's this board, and you basically have 2 3-sided dice. One's white, one's black, and the board has got basically 1, 2, 3 for locations that are black, and then 1, 2, 3 that are white. And when you roll the dice, you get 2 numbers, right? And that's going to tell you how many guys and then what color location. So the way, so if you rolled a 1 and a 1, you basically can send 1 guy in a car to the 1 black location
Okay.
or to the 1 white location. And then so there's some planning with that. I kind of like that variability with the use of the dice. That really
Sure,
grabbed
sure.
me. Please continue.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
yeah, no, it's fine. Like, I was looking at the components, right? And they got like
yeah.
the poker chips, the little crates look like actual like booze crates,
Yeah,
little
Nice.
wooden meeples and stuff. And
then also at the location then. So you got basically during the round, you're placing all of your meeples. So there's another board that's going to give you other actions. And then there's locations where you're then going to shoot it out. And then last man standing during the resolution phase, you're going to basically work through all the locations. You're going to have a shootout at each location. So last man standing at the location gets the goods
Okay.
from the
yeah,
location.
it looked pretty neat. And like the art and stuff was really like on theme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks great.
Mhm.
It looks really great. It's already way funded.
Yeah, way fun. It's $30, and then if you have friends, you can start getting into groups. They have like a $55.
Right. We might have to do.
Yeah.
We might have to do that.
Yeah,
how
'cause
many
this
save
is-
on shipping, save on the game
55 for 2,
for 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, but then they have like a retail pledge or whatever for like a bunch more than that.
Yeah, there's a retailer pledge,
Um,
$100, and you get a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it looks really good.
Yeah.
I really think the theme.
It's a
Sounds-
neat like
sounds
2-player
cool.
game. There's kind of a lot of these 2-player games that have been coming out lately.
Yeah,
that, you know.
yeah, and again, the components for $30 is dirt cheap for
Dirt
that
cheap,
game
yeah.
with what you're going to get in there,
Mhm.
like the deluxe version.
Yep.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I was excited
Yep.
about that one. So yeah, that's
All right.
Cool.
I've got one more.
Go for it.
And as of when this comes out, it'll have been out for either 1 or 0 days. Starts on the 2nd.
typical
okay.
Spencer.
Like typical Spencer.
That's right.
Kingsfall, Guilds of Sendrinel.
Okay.
It is a 4X game by Matterson Games, but it's kind of supposed to be more streamlined. It's like only in 2 hours instead of, it's going to take 4 hours.
Sure.
Yeah. It's 2 to 6 players. There are multiple different paths to victory, but you can ignore one if you don't want to do combat at all. You can win without doing combat, or you can win by only doing combat.
Sure.
Okay, I love that.
And this is the weird thing about this game is they announced this game back in 2019, and they keep saying it's going to come out, and then things happen, and so
Sure.
it's finally coming out. So people have been waiting this. Actually, it was 2018. People have been
Oh,
waiting
wow.
for this forever. So, and as they've been doing it, they've been improving it. So over time, he'll come up with an update and be like, well, guess what we've done? There's no more randomness in the game. Now everything is tactical. So we've streamlined it even more. Now it's even faster. So
sure.
yeah,
Well, they're doing what they should, right? Keep
Yeah.
improving the game while
Right.
it's in development.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe next week I'll give you how much it's going to cost and more information on that because as of this taping, it's not yet out.
Sure.
But we'll see.
Right.
Right on. Right on.
Right on, man.
Any others?
Not
That's
it.
Ping Yao is funded. There might be a few days left on it when this comes out. I think Tinner's Trail will be done.
Okay.
And
By the time this
Castles
airs.
of Mad King Ludwig Collector's Edition is selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in on it if you can.
Or if you want to. I would rather get Between Two Castles and Mad King.
That was much fun.
Yeah, that will definitely be coming to Kickstarter at some point as a deluxe. I'm
Oh,
telling
yeah,
you
for
right
sure.
now.
That's why it's like, do I buy it now or wait
Yeah,
2 years for deluxe?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so now we will move into our top 5
Top
dice
5.
implementation
You don't have a
games.
song for it?
Games.
Dice games.
We do have like, yeah.
I don't know.
You did. You did.
Okay.
All right.
It's hard only having 4 words. You can't get a theme going. Like top 5 games with negotiation, like that. You can get a nice little thing going,
Right.
but like top 5 dice games. Like where do you go with that?
You
That's
just
it.
did.
That's it.
I
You
guess
nailed it.
It's just so simple though.
So
Oh,
Top
boy.
5
for you.
games.
For Bob and I, that is
Dice.
very
Yeah.
complicated. Okay, Bob.
All right.
As per usual, what
As
is your
per
number 5
All right.
favorite game? Now, it's
Uh,
got to use dice in an interesting way.
Ooh.
This is probably the least interesting way. That's why it's number 5.
That's fair.
Okay.
Oh,
But I do play a lot of games with dice, and you do a lot of them for attacking and combat. And I know that's very straightforward. However, in this war game, it does change it up a little bit. One, it uses 12-sided dice, which is fun. I love me some 12-sided dice.
Sure.
And 2, they're color-coded as opposed to being just numbers. And depending on what color code you hit certain types of units. War Room by Nightingale
okay.
Games.
Yeah,
I was guessing you were talking about that, but I've never
Yep.
seen the dice for this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, they're really
So
cool. So they give you this
There's
little
so
cup.
many other
There's
components.
there are. They give you these little cups that are cut out in the top, right? And then you could like take your dice, you throw them in, and you like shake it up real quick to roll your dice, and plus it keeps them all from going everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, since there's so much
Since
everywhere.
since there is, literally. And then you pull it off, and you've got yellows, blues, greens, and reds. And then they're also shaped differently too, so it kind of
Sure.
helps with the color blindness. And then they have like missed ones too, like blacks. Like blacks are kind of like wilds, blacks and whites. And then depending if you have certain ones can hit if you're defending. I'm
Okay.
telling you what, he builds battle boards for all of his axes and allies in War Room. I've never had to use one, but in this game, you have to use the battle board because are you setting your guys up on defense? Are you setting
Okay,
them offensive?
sure.
And then you could depending on what color die you roll, you can hit certain types of units.
Sure.
And it's like I said, it's the least interesting type of die, but it is
No,
somewhat
that's-
unique. 'Cause it's not because most of them are D6s. I hits on 4s. I
Right.
hits on 6s.
Right.
You know.
No, that is
So it's
definitely a
a
unique
different-
implementation of dice.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
so-
Yeah, it's definitely a game
I
with
like
dice.
it. I like it.
all right.
Oh, boy.
I
Thanks.
just wanted to start
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, there's so many games that utilize dice in interesting ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just couldn't even touch all the ones that I've
Sure.
gone
Yeah.
through. So I just picked the top 5 that I could come up with, and
I wrote down more than 5 because I figured
gosh.
there's the potential for crossover, so
Oh,
then I
so
can just
many.
eliminate.
That's not how it looks
Exactly. Yeah. No.
So
Don't
one
worry.
of mine is not going to be
Tim's
a
list
surprise.
will just be random games
With
with
dice.
dice
Yeah.
in them. They always are.
Monopoly, the Cubs version.
Risk.
No.
Okay,
Oh, I was like,
my number 5 is an old one, but it's one that's close to my heart. Is Cosmic Wimpout.
Never heard of it.
never heard of it.
You're really good at this. Like,
I know.
Like
You
Wait,
didn't
nuclear.
is
Nuclear
this the
games.
one that we
How many-
played?
how many
And it's like the little cloth
dice
board.
games?
Yeah, you don't even need the little cloth board, but it's good for
Why'd
keeping
you whisper
score.
that?
I don't
Now
They're especially into the mic.
there's an updated version of this. Basically, I think it's called Zombie Dice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard of that one.
Okay.
It's based off of Cosmic Wimpout. It might actually be better. I haven't had a chance to play it. So,
Okay.
Cosmic Wimpout is you have 5 dice, and each one is totally different. They have 2s, 3s, 4s, 6s, a 5. And when I say a 5, it's 2 objects, 3 objects, and then an actual numeral 5 and an actual numeral 10. You're trying to roll dice, Yahtzee style, and get 3 of the same face.
Okay.
If you get 3 2s, then that's 20 points. 3 3s, you get 30 points. The 5s, you don't have to do that. It's automatically as scores. You get 5 points. If you do get 3 of them, you can get 50 points. It's complicated. It's simple. There's a lot of really, I know. It's one of those crazy things where
That went over my head for a second.
Yeah.
when I
sentence
when I
itself was
show
Well,
kinda
the complicated part of
and
it went over your
simple.
head, and then
the
simple
simple
came
one
right back.
and punched me in the face.
yeah, it's simple because it's just rolling dice.
Sure.
But it's complicated because you have to wrap your mind around, did I get this, or do I actually have to take the risk and continue to roll dice? Because if you don't score in any roll, you will wipe out, and you lose all the points that you've gathered.
So is it Cosmic Wimpout?
It's
or is
Wimpout.
It, and not Wipeout?
It's not Wipeout. It's
Okay.
Cosmic Wimpout. So you wimp out.
Sure.
It is. I can't go through the rules because it is a little bit complicated
or a little bit simple.
or a little bit
A little
simple. But once you've played it, a few times, you're like, oh yeah, no, this is easy, and then we'll
Then you're
play
just
it for
going.
hours and hours, and it's really simple. As in, it's small. You bring it with you. It's just 5 dice, and you just do it wherever you are.
Yeah. Right on.
A cosmic Wimpout.
Cool.
Complicated and simple.
Yeah, it's like a boomerang that like goes over my head and then I turn around and it comes back.
Oh, that was weird. What was that?
Yeah. Okay, my number 5. I tend to think of dice games. There will be one that doesn't fall into this later, but I tend to think of dice games as more simple games.
Okay.
You know, like not just like, you know,
Not complicated.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't think of in general, like, you know, because there's just so many games that have like Risk is a really bad example, but like, yeah, there's dice in it, and the dice are very important. But there's so much other going on that usually for me when I say dice game, I'm talking about a game where the dice are the main mechanic.
Is a crucial
Yeah,
mechanic.
and everything kind of feeds
Well,
off
and
of
I
it
guess
somehow.
I feel like in Risk, like Monopoly, like versus a roll and move mechanic, I wouldn't
overdone.
qualify.
Sure.
And I wouldn't qualify a like high roll necessarily.
Sure.
Like all I'm doing is I'm rolling these dice to try to roll higher than you.
Sure. I'm only saying that. I'm not dissing on other people's picks or anything. I'm just saying that a lot of my games are going to be kind of simple.
Make
That's
sure I
just
didn't
that's
pick
just
any
what
of
I
those.
think of. I know, right? I was like, oh, we're good. But so my number 5 is Fuse.
Right on, yeah.
We've played this before. Fuse is a game where it is a 10-minute timed game, and you are pulling dice out of a bag, and rolling them, and assigning them as fast as you can, over and over and over and over again for 10 minutes, and you have to get a certain amount of bombs completed before the 10 minutes, or you lose. And technically, even when you lose and when you win, you can score yourself and compare. You know, and it's one of those games, right, that says like, oh, you got this many bombs. You suck, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just so the dice are 4 different colors, I think. I haven't played in a while. 4 or 5 different colors, you know, yellow, red, blue, green, black, I think. So 5. And then they're just D6s, 1 versus 6. And so this die might say, okay, you need to have dice stacked on top of each other in ascending order. Right? So we're all timed, right? So the dice get rolled, you draft one, and then if there's any dice that can't get taken, you have to re-roll them, and then whatever it is, everyone has to get rid of one of those. So if it's a green 5, I have to get rid of either a green die or a 5, right? And put them back in the bag. And then you pass the bag to the next player, and they roll the dice. And then you draft what you can. If someone can't draft something, you do the same thing. And you just keep doing that over and over again. I just like
Fuse
how
is fun.
I just like
Yeah.
how basic
I like
it is.
intense.
Yeah, I like that timed intensity. I like that kind of thing. Not always. It has to be kind of thematic, I guess, for what we're
Right.
doing. And obviously for this one, you're defusing bombs. You're the bomb squad, and you've gone in. You're defusing all these bombs. For some reason, this building has 40 little bombs in it.
That's a lot of little bombs.
Yeah,
They
and you're just
hate you.
defusing all of them. And yeah, so if you guys haven't checked out Fuse, it's insanely cheap, and if it's a fun cooperative game that can go from very simple, you know, playing the easier
very
difficulties, to to extremely complicated. Yeah, but you're literally playing different modes.
Okay.
But yeah, sure. Just a cool game by Renegade Game Studios. I think it was Kane Klenko.
Cool.
Yeah. My number 5 is, I mean, it is a roll and write that I really like. Ganchan's clever. That's so clever. It is basically you've got the different colored dice. You're rolling them. You're going to pick one. Then everybody else can like draft one out of the ones you don't pick. You're assigning them to different areas. And you go around for a couple rounds and you see which areas you filled up. You know, you score them all up. I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that. But I mean, for a roll and write, it's pretty fun. I played it a ton solo.
Okay.
It's easy to do and crank out. I like it a little bit more than like Quicks because there's now Quicks, you can play the app version and get a lot of variants, which will make the strategies way different.
Okay.
But just out of the box, like board game version, you can change your strategies kind of midstream. Like I'm just not getting enough points, you know, of my orange dice. So I'm going to go down and try to get more purples or greens. So yeah, Ganchan's clever. There's 2 versions of this game out. I think I've only played the sequel. But I like it. I like it a lot. Don't always love rolling rights, but that is one that I really do enjoy.
All right.
So
Cool. Well, speaking of rolling rights,
yeah.
this is a roll and write by BoardGameTables.com, which is kind of weird. They make great tables.
Oh yeah,
and they
yeah.
make
I know
good
what
roll and
you
write.
mean. Yeah.
On tour.
On tour's good.
Yeah. You're rolling 2 10-sided dice, and then depending on what cards you have flipped over, you got a map of America, and with all these like little circles on the cities, and you're going to use, so you roll a 7 and 8, you're going to put a 78 somewhere and an 87
I've played
somewhere.
this
Yes.
one.
Yep. And then after
And the
you're done,
cards are going to tell you what
where
regions.
you can, what region of the states you can put them in, and at the end you're going to start, you're going to try to trace your tours, and try to go from the lowest to the highest and hit as many cities as you
I have
can.
played this
And
one.
Yeah.
see,
On
fun
tour's
game.
good.
yeah, it's a great little
good.
roll and write.
It is really good.
Yeah, it's a good one. I enjoyed playing this.
Yeah.
And plus, it's kind of a fun band theme, right?
Yeah, you get to name your
You can name your
band,
band, yeah, I
love
yeah.
that.
See how many cities you can hit.
Yeah, I was able to bring back Levi and mine's band name from high school.
From Rock Band?
boy.
Yeah, from Rock Band. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
nice.
What was it? What was it?
Dude,
Exit strategy.
best band name ever, okay?
Is that the name of it? Best band name ever?
Best band name ever, isn't it? No, I don't know if we were really tired or something, but we came up with Sipe Neutroporp, which is so fun for me to play or to say. It is so fun for me to say. Sipe, C-I-P-E, is just an awesome word. First of all,
word.
Neutroporp. Okay, I know that our
Also-
editors over there are
also
like,
a word.
it is
Spell
epic.
it.
It is epic proportion backwards. Right?
Okay.
Is Sipe Neutroporp. It is so fun to say.
You know what my band name is?
I know. No, seriously, I love that name
on these
so
guys'
much.
words.
Just to say Neutroporp
My
is
band
one of
name
the funnest
is
things
Sonic
ever.
Tonic.
Sonic Tonic.
Sonic Tonic. So much easier to say.
Oh yeah,
So is
I
that
don't
like
care
if
about it.
Sonic Youth and Tonic like formed a supergroup? They would be Sonic Tonic.
Oh yeah.
Boy,
If they were
that's
also
really
if they were
90s.
also really
We had the
lazy
exit
at naming
strategy.
things.
Yeah,
too.
we did.
Yeah.
Exit strategy. Exit
So-
strategy was good.
Number 4.
Yes.
It's not going to be a surprise to anyone. Not dice.
We should have wrote it down.
I
did.
Do that.
He whispered it earlier.
I did.
Wrote it down. Slide it over.
No, I knew you guys were going to know it.
Never heard
Right.
us talk about this.
I don't even think I have to talk about it. I've talked about it so many times on here.
Yeah, that's
it's,
funny.
It's a Celtic knot on a dice, and you roll them and play a variety of different games with them, depending on which game you want
Yeah,
to play.
a lot of games in one box.
A lot of games in one
Solid.
box.
Yep.
Yeah.
And nice looking dice.
Really nice dice.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can just get a bunch of them, put them together, and make your own really cool knot, and
patterns.
then
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
a game. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Entertainment for hours. Or if you're Dan, you just make something up when you're really tired.
Yes.
Actually, yeah. Why not?
Why?
Get it? Not.
Not.
Ooh.
Pun damage.
Glad you guys were here for Spencer's last show.
Joke
That's
was,
right.
joke was so bad it went over my head for a second.
And then came back.
Yeah.
It was complex.
Spencer and his boomerang jokes.
Then
Okay,
simple.
boomerang.
Ooh,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel San.
My
got?
number 4 is another very famous classic simple dice game by Yellow,
Oh.
King of
King of
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yes.
One of the first ones I would suggest you check
I
it
had
out.
that written down.
So you like Yahtzee, yes? How would you like it if Yahtzee was like a real game? Here you go, King of Tokyo. It's so good, guys. Yeah. So you're
With powers.
you're each a monster. You know, a non-copyrighted monster
Yeah.
like
Not a Godzilla.
Zodgilla
Yeah.
over there and
King
Takulu.
and-
No,
yeah.
wait, that one's
No,
licensed.
Cthulhu is actually in the game.
Yeah, because he's
Well, as a promo
public-
or
yeah,
expansion.
public domain. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So you're on one of those. You're rolling dice on your turn, Yahtzee style, and depending on what you get, you're either attacking other players, getting victory points, or getting energy that let you buy cards that make you more powerful. Right. I would also always suggest to play with the expansion power up. Basically, you have your little asymmetric deck. Whenever you get 3 hearts, you not only get to heal with 3 hearts if applicable, but then you also get to draw the top card of your deck, and that gives you some insanely overpowered asymmetric power that you now have for the rest of the game, or it might be an
It
instant
might be a
effect
one shot.
card.
Yeah.
I
I got
whoever's
this
in
game
Tokyo.
like 5 years ago and still play it.
No,
it's
me
great.
too,
Yeah.
constantly. If you're when you're in Tokyo, it's called King of Tokyo. It's almost King of the Hill, right? When you're in Tokyo, whenever you do damage to every other player, and you get victory points every turn you're in there. But everyone who's out of Tokyo, when they roll damage, all only attack you. So you stay
Piles
in
up
there.
quick.
Yeah, what did you say earlier? Battle of attrition, right?
Yeah.
How long can you?
But the fun
hold
thing
out?
is, anytime somebody hits you, you can opt
I'm out.
to switch
Yeah.
with that person.
Yep.
So
And they're in
if
the
you
middle.
don't want to go into Tokyo, you might be re-rolling those hit dice.
yeah.
Because it's like, no, I don't want to go in. I got 5 health left. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I can't go in.
Exactly. And then
And-
you accidentally roll, 6 hits, and you're like, well, See you guys later. I'm about to go die.
Yeah.
But yeah, King of Tokyo, guys, it's a classic. You've probably heard of it.
Yep.
Fantastic game.
Yeah, really
They
good.
have
By Yellow.
another King of
I
New
need to
York?
get King. Yeah, King of
I've
New York.
never
is-
played it.
King of New York's really good. It gives you a couple extra things you can do. I really want to get King of Tokyo Dark.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh,
it's in
alright.
my Amazon wish list.
The artwork
Was this for 18 and
looks
up?
I just
No,
it's
it's
just awesome new artwork for it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like all blacks and
Black and
grays,
gold. Yeah.
and there's like some gold in
Yeah,
there,
gold
like
highlights.
to highlight things. Yeah, it looks
Whoa.
really.
It
really
looks
good.
incredible.
Looks
Um,
really good.
Yeah,
King of
I just
Tokyo.
haven't justified rebuying, the same game I already
Sure.
own, for $35 or whatever.
Yeah,
I already
right.
own the game.
Right. Yeah.
Sell the
I'm
old
gonna
one, then you
buy
no
it.
That's what I
longer
was
own
saying.
it.
Sell your old one.
Yeah, that's true.
What you got, Timmy?
My number 4 is another roll and write. It's probably my favorite roll and write. We've talked about it a bunch. We've got a
Bridges.
review. 7 Bridges.
Yeah.
I really like it.
cool.
You got the wooden dice with the shapes of the road. They
Yep.
tell you like
Different
what
types of
road you can
roads,
pick.
yep.
It's dice drafting, and yeah, it's just really fun. A stroll and write,
Yeah,
if you will.
I enjoyed that one.
I like the strategies behind it. 7 Bridges.
Fan of dice drafting.
Yeah, and again, unique dice and a fun way to use them.
Yep.
So
Yeah, nice clunky wood ones
Yeah.
too. Like nice,
Yeah.
like they're fat,
chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the word. Yeah.
yeah. So, or as my daughter would say, chungus.
Chungus.
Yeah,
Nice.
some chungus dice.
All right. So my number 3,
Number 3.
also by Board Game Tables.
I was wondering if you were going to mention this.
Yes. So it also uses 12-sided dice,
Yes,
which I'm a
okay.
big fan of.
I know what you're talking about.
Loot
Duel
of
Dick
Lima.
Diggers.
Oh, I haven't played this
You
yet.
haven't played it yet. So it's kind of like a clue, deduction. Everybody gets a couple of these face-down treasure token things, and there's a big beach on the front here. And there's a hidden treasures amongst there. And now those 2 locations, nobody has those little dots, right? But all the dots you get, you're going to fill in on your board. You're going to pass a couple to a neighbor, and so you fill those in on your board. And then as you roll the dice, they've got like different directions: northeast, southeast, west. And you're going to take 2 of those dice and pick those 2 locations, and then ask somebody, okay, do you have any treasure? How many do you have between this point and this point? And they're like, I have 3. Okay, well, I know he has this one and this one, so that means he's probably. And you're trying to decipher which ones they
Sure.
don't have and where the treasure is at. Yeah,
That sounds
it's
fun.
a super neat game. It's not very popular. It could take a while to play.
Yeah.
Sure.
But check
I
it
don't know,
out.
that
It's-
sounds
it's,
fun.
it's a good time. Yeah, if you like
sounds
Clue,
fun.
if you like deduction games, it's a really fun
It's a
deduction game.
fantastic
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Does it belong on this list? Is a different conversation, but it's a
Oh,
fantastic
no way!
game.
Tell me this game does not belong on this list. You tell me that's not interesting dice? North, east, south,
No,
west?
interesting dice is sure the thing. I don't. Listen, I'm not trying to argue here. I made a joke.
you are.
I made a joke how it does not belong on the list. I don't think it does. But that's
we're gonna-
Bob. It's a joke. It doesn't. But it's a joke. I'm being
Okay.
funny. I don't mean it. I mean it.
I see.
All I know is mommy and daddy are fighting, and
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Go to your
We
room.
move on to
No, I'm just saying that the main mechanic of the game is deduction, right? And then you're just
Sure.
rolling a die, and it's you're
But you're
picking
using the dice
questions
to
off it.
figure out how to deduce.
Sure. No, you're totally right. It's just
Yeah.
that would be any dice with game in it. You're using the dice to do something. No, but you don't understand. I can't move in Monopoly if I don't roll the dice. Like it's
Good Lord.
But you could
Save the litigation for the Meeples Court.
No. Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Oh,
I
I
really
know.
hope that happens. That
Oh, it's
the
happening.
name has been leaked.
We are willing that to happen.
Yeah.
That is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, and we put it out there now, so it exists.
I know.
it exists.
It's a
Oh,
thing.
no.
It has to
Okay,
happen
so
now.
Loot of Lima.
Sure.
Spencer.
Good pick, Bob.
You're
my
you
number
shut
3.
up.
What? I said good pick.
Yellow card.
All right.
Snow on the card, dang it.
We're never going to live that down.
Nope.
Okay, my number
We didn't
3.
do it. What are you talking about? That came from Scythe, which no one mentioned. Anyway.
My number
feel
3
cold
was
playing some.
either it was going to be 1 or 2 games, and I haven't heard the other one mentioned yet, but I would be surprised if I don't.
Okay.
So if it doesn't mention, I'm going to mention it at the end.
Yeah.
Kapow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Kapow is
I haven't
a
played,
game.
so it won't get mentioned.
It's a 2-player. No.
He's talking about the
This
other
is
one.
the other one.
Oh, okay.
Kapow is a 2-player game, but if you have 2 sets, you can make it a 4-player game, where it's superhero versus supervillain. You have a bunch of 2 different kinds of dice. Normal dice, and then dice
So wait, why
where
are you
you're...
explaining Kapow?
That's his pick.
That's
He's
my
saying if
pick.
the other one doesn't get
Oh,
mentioned,
I see.
it
Now
will be an honorable
now
mention.
I'm in the room.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Where did it happen?
So you get to put your own faces on the other die. You see where I'm going with
Uh-huh,
this?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're making a special power-up die, and you roll the dice to figure out what defense or attack or special maneuver
Sure.
or heal that you're going to do, all secretly. And then at the last moment, you reveal, and you go like, oh, crap, I didn't defend, you killed me. Yeah, no, it's a great game where you're making your own dice and also taking different kinds of the not standard-ish dice to power up your characters. So you
Sure,
have these
yeah.
two different kinds of dice that you're doing all these rolling with.
Sounds good.
All right.
Cool.
Kapow, and that just got a Kickstarter.
They just
right?
had the second
the
like a
sequel
second
or
edition,
whatever.
Yeah.
Sequel.
I don't think it's just second edition, but I honestly don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
He talked about that one.
Yep.
Okay, so my
Sucks.
number 3. Good luck with this argument. So my number 3, I've been talking about a lot lately. I'm actually going to combine 2 games here because they're so similar. I know. By WizKids, Dice Masters.
I don't have to talk about this because
Yep.
you're going to.
Dice Masters and Quarriors, I'm just going to talk about them both. They use the exact same system. Dice Masters is a dueling game to where Quarriors has the same fighting in it, but it's this interesting round thing where you're trying to you just want your units to not die so they score victory points for you. You know, it's kind of more cowardly,
Right.
I guess.
I want to live.
But yeah, so Dice Masters and Quarriors, just beautiful dice collections, and it's bag building.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I really like about
and
Dice
blind
Masters.
pulling. Yeah,
Is the bag building. So you can assemble this awesome team of superhero cards, but you have to draw the dice to be able to
first you
trigger
have to
them.
purchase them using your basic dice, and then they go
Right.
in your bag, and then you just have to hope you pull them on a turn you can use them. Like, oh, I really need Batman this
Yeah.
turn, you know? I have the DC Dice Masters. But yeah, and then Quarriors, same kind of thing. You're starting with basic ones. There's a randomized pool of characters that you're purchasing and going in your bag, and then you put them out in front of you. Their special abilities active while they're in front of you, and then if it gets all the way back around to you and they're still in front of you, they get discarded and you get victory points for them, depending on their level and stuff. It'll say on the cards. And just both games are fantastic, and both Dice Masters slightly more, but both are insanely cheap to get into, too. Like Dice Masters, you can buy a $10 set, and you have everything you need to play a 2-player game right there. Now, once you play that, you'll be like, man, I want these other characters, and I want this, and
Right.
it's a rabbit hole. That's the
yeah.
people get in that, and they get
You
a little
get
too
Marvel,
sucked into
D&D,
it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There's
DC.
WWE. Yeah, you didn't say that one, right?
Oh, I didn't even
yeah,
see that
there's
one.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
wow.
Honestly, I want the Yu-Gi-Oh one just as a collector's item because I think that's awesome. Insanely hard to find right now.
Sure.
Ridiculous. But yeah, Dice Masters, Quarriors, both fantastic. I just got Quarterfacts recently. I've been playing with that expansion as well on Quarriors, which adds a whole nother thing you can do with your guys now. I love both games. I've been playing them a lot lately. Eventually, Tim and I will duel each other in Dice Masters.
Oh yeah.
We both have sets, and we're just staring at
And
each
I got
other.
I got a ton of Dice Masters
Yeah,
stuff.
he has way more than me.
So I will go with my number 3 as a Stonemaier game, which was the first game I ever played like this, and I was so impressed. Do you want me to save it?
That's fine. It's your number 3.
Oh
Go
boy.
ahead.
Does it start with an E?
It does.
Yeah, okay.
This was actually the first Stonemaier game I played, and is still probably my favorite.
Yep.
Euphoria.
Yep.
Just dice as workers,
start
and
with
their face value determines like their
Everything you say is going
usefulness.
over my
And
head.
sometimes you need like smarter workers, and sometimes
Yeah.
you need dumber workers.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing is like you have a base intelligence level, and as you acquire more workers, aka dice, when they enter your pool, you roll them, and then you add that to their normal intelligence. And if it's too high, they go away.
Yeah, 'cause
So
they're
what you do-
smart and leave
Yeah,
you.
they're too smart, so they leave. So you gotta shock therapy their brains down a little bit, and then you can.
So this game, right,
more workers.
combined with that, right,
Yeah.
just the
The dystopian
it
type
blew-
of-
it blew
yeah.
my mind
Yeah.
to see like the theme so strong in manipulating the dice and your workers and the way that you did it and the way that
how
they
much
use
they
the
like
dice.
you, and yeah.
Gosh, I really like
That
it.
was a lot of fun.
It's I mean the scoring is sort of what you might call a standard Stonemaier game scoring now, like with Scythe, where you're getting the stars.
Stars,
You know,
yeah,
you get your
yeah.
stars, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But man, I love Euphoria. I love
Yeah.
the theme. I love the artwork. I
great
love the
worker
colors.
placement,
I love the
dice
components.
game. Yep.
It's fantastic. It's
Yep.
really easy to get. It is kind of a. It's not that hard to teach, but it's kind of like sneakily a heavier game. Like
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's kind of a lot going on.
but
there.
it's
A lot
but
of
you can
tracks.
you can trick people into playing it that don't
sure,
like
just
heavy
roll
games.
dice. Oh, you can put that dice
Until they
anywhere
get
you
too
want.
smart and they leave.
That's
But
right.
This game-
That's how you shock them.
That's right.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But yeah, Euphoria. Sorry
Yeah.
about.
No, that's fine.
Euphoria is my number 3.
That's fine.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. I was only able to play it once. I was gonna honorable mention it if no one else
Yeah.
talked about it because I only played it once, like I said. it. I had a really good time. It is, though, one of the most painful losses I've ever had in my board game history. It was just so painful to watch it go down the drain. I was in the lead the whole game. I had it, and then someone played one card, and then I was stopped in my tracks, and I gained no more points or anything for the rest of the game. We were so close to the end of the game, and they were like, "Dan, you're not playing anymore." And I was like, "Oh!"
I actually
I got
subscribed to
so
that.
stuck.
You got shocked?
Yeah, I got shocked. Yeah, they taught me a lesson.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was technically my number 2. All right.
Okay.
But I do have another dice worker placement game. I didn't want to put too many of those on here because I just wanted to have kind of one from the genre.
Sure.
But so as another type of dice placement game, it's a somewhat unique mechanic. The Artemis Project.
Oh, haven't played. Right?
Yeah.
Talked about it recently.
Yep, yeah. So you're rolling dice and you're using worker placement, but then they also have, depending on the value of the die, you bump people out of the way, right?
Oh,
and
sure.
so the lower die values will always go first. So if there's 6 resources there and I put my 4 there to try to get 4 of those, and you're like, I'm going to put a 3 and go ahead of you. And then everybody's like, I'm going to put a 3 and go ahead of the other one. So all 6 of those will be gone, and then now my 4 is useless.
Does nothing.
Yeah,
Cool. Right
so
on.
it's a neat little...
I like that.
Yeah, dice placement.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I'll substitute that in.
Artemis
Yeah,
Project.
Artemis Project by the Grand Gamers Guild.
Grand Gamers Guild.
All right.
Winter-themed game.
I just want to point out, I don't
Yeah,
actually
it
have
is.
any
It's fun.
roll and rights on my list.
Sure. Brag.
Me neither.
Brag.
You shouldn't be saying brag because you're saying you like rolling right, so you should be saying oh, that's your mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I don't love rolling rights. I just have
You
2
only got
rolling rights that I
2 on
really
your
like
list.
on here. Sure. And I'm also trying to not step on other people's lists.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah,
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Sorry,
someone
Bob.
steps
I
on.
stepped on Bob.
Yeah.
But I do
all
have
over it.
one dice allocation like that, which is Roll for the Galaxy.
Oh, that was one of my
again-
honorable mentions. That was a good
Again,
one.
I knew,
Everyone knew
I'm-
this was
I
gonna
be
thought
one.
that would be
Everyone knew.
Spencer's number 1. to
I
be
thought
You
it
honest.
know
was
what my
me
number
too.
one's going to be. It's not a surprise. If you
Not
know
dice
me,
squared.
put in the comments, right now, you'll guess what my number 1 is.
Yeah.
So
But
anyway,
we know you and we're not guessing.
no, you're not guessing. You know.
I thought
So,
it was Roll for the Galaxy.
Roll
That's
for
what
the
I'm saying.
Galaxy is
That's
you
his
have,
number 2, so I don't know what his number 1 is
Yeah.
because Not Dice is already gone.
That's what I'm saying.
You guys don't.
We're saying the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
we
they'll-
don't,
they'll-
we don't
fine.
know.
You guys are gonna
Well,
slap
apparently we
yourself
don't
when
know
you see
you.
it here.
We're
Okay.
discussing.
I'll just
So-
do it now.
You have different colored dice, and each one has different number of different faces on them. And you roll these dice, and they represent what rolls you are going to be able to do. Like in Race to the Galaxy, you only get to choose one. Everyone else will also get to choose one. You reveal at the last moment, everyone's like, oh, this phase we get to do this one and this one and this one, or we only get to do shipping or things like that.
Right.
It's like a phase selection.
It's a phase selection. The cool thing about this is any die that you put underneath a phase that doesn't get selected by you, but someone else selects it, those
Still gets
dice
to go.
still get to work.
Mm-hmm.
They also represent not only the workers. So you have workers in your cup, which are the workers you've already paid and are ready to do the job. You have workers in your general population, which you have to pay to
To
put
get them
in
in
your
your
cup.
cup.
And but then you also have workers who they represent the good that this
Goods on the
planet
board.
has produced.
Sure.
And they represent the guy going out to pick
Yep.
up the goods.
A little bit of pickup delivery.
Yeah,
type
pick
of-
up delivery. So it's just
It's
so many
crunchy,
You,
things
man.
you
can
use
do
it
with
for a
it.
lot
It's
of different
nice.
things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just
It's a
love
good
that
game.
mechanic.
Yep.
So roll for the Galaxy. You're placing tiles.
Yep.
And there are so many tiles. I don't even think I've run into all of them.
I prefer roll to race.
I prefer race to roll, but it's close.
Sure.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I haven't played either, but
We should change
roll
that.
roll looks incredible to me. Well, technically, I've
And
played
there's-
the app for race
Oh, yeah, yeah.
slightly.
There's also an expansion that has been on my list forever, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right.
Okie dokie.
Number 2.
My number 2, we've been talking about a lot lately because we've covered some stuff. But
Way to
so-
be ambiguous
I
about
know.
the game
So
you're
very,
going to mention.
very simple to the King of Tokyo thing. This is a Yahtzee style game. I just find these mechanics and everything way more interesting than just the skirmish fighting thing. Taking the Yahtzee mechanic and turning it into a social deduction game. Hey, that's all over me. So no, not yet, but maybe someday. But no, Bang the Dice Game by
Yeah,
DV
okay.
Gyoki.
I knew that was going to be on
Yeah,
there.
Bang the Dice Game. I talk about it constantly. I love this
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
and we've been talking about Bang just in general.
I'm
a
surprised
lot
that's not your
lately.
number 1.
If you know Dan, you would know his number 1.
Number 1 is
No.
also Bang the
I don't
Dice
know
Game.
your number 1 either. So
You guys probably won't guess it, but that's fine. Yes, so Bang the Dice Game is another Yahtzee style game. You have 6 dice. I think it's 6. It might be 5. And you're rolling them, reroll, whatever you have, you do, right? They have numbers on them. So if I roll a 1, then I can do 1 damage to someone 1 seat away from me. So right now that'd be Tim or Spencer. Had to remember your guys' names. If I rolled a 2, I could only shoot Bob right now because no matter which direction I go, it's going to go to Bob, right? A beer or alcohol, whatever they call it in the game, heals anyone at the table.
As it does in real life.
Jeez. And then arrows are really bad.
As they are in real life.
Yeah. Once all the last arrows taken, everyone who has arrows takes that much damage, equal to how many arrows they have. So if I have 3 in front of me, I take 3 damage. And then there is a Gatling gun where if you roll 3 of them, you do a damage to everyone at the table. And there are certain abilities that help with that as well. And there's one last thing. Oh, the dynamite. If you roll 3 dynamite, when you roll a dynamite, you can't re-roll it. When you roll 3, your turn instantly ends. You take 1 damage, and then you still activate all your other dice. Meanwhile, while all that is happening, well, why are you shooting people, Dan? Not everyone here is as trustworthy. You know what? None of them look trustworthy.
Listen, I'm always the sheriff.
Yeah, that's true.
By default.
But so one person's the sheriff. The deputy's trying to protect the sheriff. The sheriff and the deputy win if the sheriff is the last person alive. The renegade wins if he's the last person alive, and the outlaws win if the sheriff dies before anyone else's thing procs. Their victory condition.
We're not to
procs.
leave the room,
Right.
even if you come and get it.
What, him? Bunch of him. Seemed a bit daft to god him when he's a god.
But anyway, after all that long-winded discussion, that's Bang the Dice game set in a Western theme. Fantastic, simple social
It's
deduction
really
game,
good.
guys. I love
That's
this
really good.
game.
Beware the arrows.
You beware the arrows,
Beware
which
the
you can't
arrows.
help because if you roll an arrow, you take an arrow. There's nothing you can really
Just don't
do.
roll
Don't
the arrow.
don't
right?
roll the other dice.
Here's what I'll
It's,
say. I don't know if this is in the actual rule book, but when we play, I give everyone 2 or 3 characters, and then you pick what character you want from there. So if you get
all
a
on this side.
character that maybe helps with not getting hurt by the arrows, maybe consider taking that one. You know? that's all I'm saying. But anyway,
All
Bang
right.
the Dice game by D.B. Gyogi. That's
Back to
it.
him.
Number 2.
So as not to step on toes, because there's 2 games that must be mentioned that have not been mentioned yet.
Sure.
My number
Been
2
mentioned
will be Dice Forge.
There we go. That's
Because-
the one.
Really, Bob? that can't be
No
it.
way.
That was totally it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, then you want me to
That's
pick,
the one that I
that's
said.
your number 1? Okay, well, I'm gonna switch it then. I'm
Okay.
gonna switch it. I'm gonna talk about a game that you've not mentioned.
Yeah.
I played this at Bob's. I've only played it once. I'm kind of like on the sly really interested in it, but it's really
Champions of
expensive.
Midgard.
It's really expensive to get into because it's hard to get. Chip Theory games.
Oh.
Too many bones.
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen a game use dice like that.
That's okay.
I kept going,
I
okay,
wanna
Bob's
try
going to say too many bones, so
Yeah.
I'm going to wait. Because I've never seen a game that
That's
is like
true.
the RPG,
You know what?
the deck
This
building.
game is tucked so far back that I didn't.
I mean, it's been a few years since we
It's
played
been a
it.
while since I played it.
But the components for this
Wow.
game are fantastic.
Yep.
It's pricey, but I mean, it's worth it. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so much stuff in there. The quality,
yeah.
high quality poker chips,
Mhm.
and you got to refresh my memory on all the ways you can use the dice because it's like skill tree stuff, right?
Yeah, because every person has their own unique set of dice.
Right.
And you've got a neoprene mat, right, for that character.
With slots in it.
Yeah, with slots in them.
Dual
And
layered
as you-
neoprene mat.
Yeah. But yeah, it's tricky to set up. Like I had a hard time like getting through the campaign itself.
Right.
But yes, the mats are super interesting, and it's hard to find people to play that with you because it does take a while to play through the whole
Yes,
thing.
but it looks so good.
It does look
looks
look
great
very
on the
cool.
table.
dice are very unique, and they are
They're chunky. They're big.
no,
old chunk.
they're normal size
I
dice.
thought they were like. Oh, I'm thinking
No,
something
yeah,
else.
they're normal size dice. But they're all crazy sizes. Like this one's got a heart on it. This one's got like
right,
throwing knives on it. This one's got bombs on it because every character does different
things with their
Sure,
dice.
yep.
It just hadn't never seen
Yep.
dice implemented
Yep.
in
I
that
guess
way.
since I haven't played it a ton,
It's
it wasn't
kinda on
on
the
my
back
yeah,
end.
and it wasn't on my favorite games.
Yeah.
These games I played a bunch.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
and that
that's-
one I've played it a couple of times, but it was
Sure.
a while ago.
It's just so unique. It had to be on the list.
It is very unique.
It
yes.
had to be on the list. And
Yeah.
because I'd only played it once, I thought about putting it at 5, but I was like, Bob might have it higher, and I don't want to like step on him.
Sure.
So, but since it's not on your list,
Yeah.
and I remember now what your number 1 will be.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, okay. I think I might not too. So we want me to do my number 1?
yeah, do your number 1.
Dice Forge. I just think that any dice game that doesn't. Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to read, but yeah.
Any dice game that doesn't mention any list that doesn't mention Dice Forge.
Dice Forge is fantastic.
Dice
It's
Forge.
fantastic. It's so unique. Like I know the Kapow kind of does something similar
This was
where you're popping the faces
one.
off, but I mean, it's just when I first saw that, my head exploded. Like I had no idea that you're gonna pop the face off this die, and then you're gonna keep rolling it, and then you have one that's it's got all gold on it. Oh yeah, I'm getting at least 3 gold every time I roll this one die.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's amazing. Like I thought it was so cool.
Dice
It's
Forge
so
is
unique.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It blew me away.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the
when I
components
played
are
it, I was like,
amazing.
I must have this.
Mhm.
Like before I was even done.
Yeah.
Like I think I popped off 3 die faces, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I gotta
It's
get this game. And it plays fast.
addictive to just make your own die.
Yeah, and then whatever kind of tactic you want to go for, you just buy those types of faces.
Yeah.
And you change it up every time.
And there's no downtime.
Yeah.
everybody-
That's another beautiful thing too. Is that as you're playing, everybody's rolling their dice on everybody else's turn, and you're still getting stuff.
You're
So
accumulating
it keeps
things.
it keeps you involved.
And you can only buy on your turn, but that's fine. 'cause
Sure,
You're
still accumulating.
You're
resources.
building up. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it just the dice mechanic is way more interesting than the rest of the game itself. For me, I didn't love Dice Forge as a game. I played it and it was cool. I want to see that mechanic in just way more games. That mechanic's incredible.
I'm for that.
Well, there's Kapow.
Yeah, evidently.
And actually, for the game and what it is, the price point is great.
Yeah.
It is not that expensive.
It's not for as much stuff as you get in there.
Yeah.
And the components are intricate that you think they'll.
And a great insert.
Yeah.
An absolutely great insert.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dice Forge.
Nice Forge.
All right. My number
So
one.
tell us about Sagrada.
Sagrada. I told you knew what it
Yes,
was.
it took a minute.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When we were
talking,
talking,
of course it's Sagrada.
Proctor was thinking about putting the dice in the little squares, because
Yeah.
too many bones.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
That's funny.
So you are making one of the various rose windows in La Sagrada Familia, and you have these clear but colored dice.
Yep.
And so they look kind of like stained
Translucent.
windows, and you are
Iridescent.
iridescent.
That's a callback.
So you have a grid. It's a little bit like Sudoku because you're going to select one of various patterns to go under your grid or into it. And so it has requirements. This particular square can only have a 3 in it, or this particular square can only have a red in it.
Right.
And as you're drafting dice and going around and you start to put these things in, there are also different ways to score.
Yep.
So it could say you want all the ones in the middle to have the highest numbers because those are the ones that are going to give you points. And then as you're going through, the other rule is, which is where it comes like Sudoku, you can't have 2 numbers or 2 colors orthogonally next to each other.
Right. Makes it
So-
real tough.
Yeah. So if I put a 3 over here and I went, oh crap, I can't put anything but a 3 in this one.
You blocked yourself.
Well, I would suggest looking at your board before placing the first 3.
You don't always get the option.
I'm just kidding.
Sometimes.
It's really bad when the draft comes to you and you're like, they're all 3s.
Yeah.
But that's why you have these cool little tools.
Yeah, you can take like the glass cutter.
So
or-
the more difficult pattern you choose, you get these little tokens,
Beads,
more of
yeah.
them, and the more you get to use these tokens to pay for a single-use tool that could let you move one of the things
Change
around
the face a
or
little bit.
take one up and swap it with one of these like that.
Re-roll it.
Yeah,
All
so
types of things.
it's a
yeah,
fun
Sagrada's
game.
really good.
Yep.
Dan hates it.
I genuinely don't understand why I didn't love it. I
Sure.
don't hate it. I would totally play
No,
it.
there's games like that.
I just don't. I love dice. I love drafting, and I love Sudoku.
Yeah.
I know you love this game.
I was streaming last night, and during the loading times of my game, I open up another tab and I'm playing Sudoku on the stream like with people because I love Sudoku.
Sure.
So I genuinely don't understand.
That's how
why
I feel
don't
about
love this
Dice
game.
Throne.
Yeah, but you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I've never,
No,
I've
it's
never
fine.
played Dice Throne.
It should be. It is crazy popular.
Uh-huh.
Everybody loves it, and I'm like, all by myself.
Yeah, I genuinely
'Cause I
feel
don't
like
like it.
it's just this mental thing that I tend to not like abstract strategy games.
Oh, sure.
It's an abstract strategy game.
Yep.
So I'm
It
just
is.
like,
It's
meh.
abstract and
but I'm like, I
abstract.
should love this.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, it has expansions, which I've only played with one of the expansions. There's more. I really want to get them.
Sure.
Check it out.
So I'd like to point out, because I've mentioned King of Tokyo, Bang the Dice game, I'd like to point out that when I got this message for today's list, it said, your favorite dice games. That's very different than dice, like unique
Utilization?
mechanics
Sure.
and stuff. I did not get that message. So yes, Bob, Loot of Lima has a very unique dice mechanic. The reason why I was confused is because that is not what I was told we were doing. But anyway, so mine, not like this insanely unique thing, but blows my mind that no one thought of it because this is definitely a dice game. Now, there's way more going on, and yes, the dice are also used as workers, basically, and yes, the dice are also drafted. But the game,
would've been my
the game
number
by
one.
Schmidt-Spiel
Would've
blows
been
my
number one.
mind that no one's named, but Taverns of Teifenthal.
It's not
Yeah.
named because it's worthy of number one.
Sure,
You don't,
well,
you don't name that earlier.
when he said
haven't
that his
played it
number
yet.
one was whatever
Dice
that
Forge?
crap was, I was blown. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I know.
I want
it
to
was
play it. I haven't
hard.
played it.
It was hard.
but
I wanted to, because Taverns gets mentioned so much.
No, it does. It does. It's just that I don't care when I'm making my favorite games with dice in it.
Yeah.
I put them in order favorite with dice in it. I don't care what Tim says.
You're fine. You're
Anyway,
fine.
Taverns, guys, we've covered it 1,000 times on the
Great
show.
game.
I believe we have a review, right?
We do,
So
but
I
I want to do an updated review.
I will use my 5th snap to go to Taverns.
I want to do an updated
want to do an
review.
updated
Coming back to
review.
it.
Play it with me, so I can say
No, yeah,
that I
it blows
played
my
it.
mind we haven't played with you yet.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
fantastic
Taverns
game.
is so good.
So everyone has a modular player board, and you're drafting dice and putting those dice down. You're also deck building.
It's deck building also.
I
Yeah,
it's
know.
so
it's
good.
a deck building game, so I don't
So
think it
good.
qualifies.
It's
So-
so wait, War Room is a dice game?
Yeah.
Like straight up dice game.
I didn't say straight up dice game, but it's a dice game.
Well, you just classified Taverns as a
Sure.
deck builder.
Yes, I did.
I'm just going to do everything you say, Tim. But yeah, and then so you're playing down from your deck, more tables to seat people, the people themselves that are going
Yeah.
in the seats,
Dishwashers.
people that work for you,
I'm
yeah,
gonna play
dishwashers
Taverns
and
right
stuff.
now.
I
And
know.
then
I
they
was like,
affect
oh,
what
Tim
else
could buy it,
happening
or
on your
happy,
modular
we'll
player
just-
board, and you're collecting beer, and beer which you gets more people
Yep.
to come in, and then you get money, which lets you hire more people to
Yep.
go into your deck, and then there's nobles that you get that are like the best. That's how you win. Get as many nobles as possible.
Yep.
You're also spending your money on that. I say modular board because as you're spending your money, you're flipping the pieces of your
Upgrading
board
your
over
board.
and
Yeah.
upgrading them
Yeah, it's
to
so
other
good.
pieces,
It's so
and
good.
everything you're doing is involved with what dice are coming my way this turn.
It's so good.
You're drafting those dice around and then placing them because this person eats for
So
a 3,
good.
so you have to put a 3 on them. This person is gives me an extra die because I hired them and everything. I'm telling you, it is such a
Yeah.
complicated but simple game. I would say really.
Yeah.
If I had to narrow,
It's pretty light. You could actually use it like as an icebreaker, like to start the night out with.
Right.
I'm
so-
not
it's such a
sure
light game.
about that one.
You're sure it's complicated but simple?
Trying to,
There's not one open.
I think
No.
I saw snow on one of the cards.
There is snow outside. It is cold
Snow.
out there, so it is technically a winter
themed
themed game.
But yeah, check it out, guys. It is
Yeah.
well priced for what you're
Yeah.
getting.
Oh, it's
It is-
fantastic.
There's
It's so
much
good.
game in there. It has basically 5 modular expansions. You just choose to play with or not in there.
Just play
It
with them.
should have been on my list.
Yeah,
Just play with them.
Slight oversight. It's fine.
It's number one. It's my
why
It's
there's-
overlooked
yeah.
on purpose, but
Well, we've got 4 of us.
of course.
Catch the ones we miss.
yeah,
But,
there's so many out there.
So I'll just go into my
Oh, I guess we'll
honorable
let Tim run.
honorable mentions because
Because you
yeah,
already mentioned your number one.
Taverns. No, Taverns is my number one.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
you already mentioned.
yeah.
It, yeah.
I love playing Liar's Dice with my daughter.
Sure.
Like it's a fun, just kind of party game,
Yep.
thing.
Lie about what you have underneath the cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you're just betting,
well,
and
it's
then you
not
just
always
call.
lying, right? In
Well,
Liar's
sure,
Dice,
sure.
you're hoping
Right,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah.
telling the
I mean, we're
truth.
doing
I've got
things.
3 threes.
Yeah, I probably.
Back when I was a kid, I liked to play Dragon Dice. You guys ever played that one?
Nope.
Nope.
Man, I'm old.
Oh,
Yeah.
We know.
We're older than you.
that sounds
I'm
really
not.
familiar.
Yeah, you have armies
yes,
and a dragon and the different size dice, depending on
yes.
how powerful they are.
I think I remember that.
I've got
Oh,
2 sets
man.
at home.
Wow, check it out.
Nice.
That's been a long time.
I also want to say, you prepared for the eye roll. Catan. I like the use of dice in Catan. Game of Thrones Catan.
Just say
or
Starfarer.
Starfarers.
Just say Starfarer.
Say
Yeah, and then we're all like, "Oh, you're a
oh
genius."
yeah,
Yeah.
good idea, Tim.
This is great.
I
then-
had 2 quick honorable
And then
mentions.
my last one is
Okay.
Coimbra.
Okay.
Coimbra, the way you use
Yep.
the dice in Coimbra
Yep.
is unique and a nice crunchy game.
Yeah. So to go along your timed games,
Yeah.
right, and how you like timed games, one of my honorable mentions I wanted to put on here was Project Elite.
Have not played.
I want to play it
so
good.
because you're on a
Heard of
time
it.
frame and you're rolling dice to do stuff, but also on your die is like alien movement. So
Yeah.
every time you remove alien movement, those aliens are marching down the
So
line
the
towards
the
you.
more you're rolling,
the more you're rolling, the
is
more
the
chance you have of
potential.
aliens coming
Sure.
Do
to
you
you.
have the new edition?
No, it's the old one.
Okay. I don't care. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I have the
I really
expansion
want the new
for it too,
edition.
but yeah.
Bob,
It's pretty
I
cool.
want to play. Bob.
yeah.
I want to play.
So what? So tell me again what you think of Luna Lima.
Honestly, I'm embarrassed I didn't include it on my list.
Yeah, okay, we'll play it later. But then also on that time thing, it's not quite out, but we're hoping it comes back to Kickstarter. Lost to Time.
Lost to
we
Time.
had so much fun playing that
Oh,
game.
that's
and
such a
rolling
good
dice and
honorable
having a good time
mention.
on it.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Lost to
Really
Time
hoping that
was-
comes back again.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that game was good.
Doesn't
I
a
really.
Steampunk Fusion Rally, Steampunk Rally,
Steampunk
Rally.
Rally. I have that. I almost put it on my list too. It was it was on my short list, but I didn't make the short list.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you're
Honorable mention.
drafting cards and you're rolling dice and you're putting them on
You're
there. 'cause
powering your
yeah,
engines
you're
or whatever,
you're powering all your different gimmicks. But then you have to release all that steam during your turn. So you start reducing the pips on the die before you can finally remove it and use that piece of contraption again. but you're also trying to roll down this mountain as fast as you can. And as you take damage, bits are flying off your machine.
Oh,
with
that sounds fun.
contraction.
Yeah, it's pretty
so
fun.
much fun. Like the whole thematic view of it. We're like, I'm just gonna go as fast as I can. Who cares about the damage? Because the finish line's down there. Who cares? As long as I was my cockpit sliding across the finish line, I still win. You
It's
know?
like you on a unicycle just pedaling across,
Yeah.
holding a steering wheel connected to nothing.
Still counts.
Yeah, I've
yeah,
got
it's a fun one.
Steampunk Rally Fusion coming whenever they get around to it.
Nice. Yeah. Roxley Games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay.
I think
Well,
we're good.
What
That-
games did we forget, guys? There's a
Yeah,
lot of
there's
dice
there's
games,
tons of them.
especially
So many.
games
Yeah.
with
So
unique
many.
mechanics for dice that Dan didn't know about.
so many.
Yeah.
So many. Also, guys, remember, as you saw probably at the top of the show, we are running a subscription drive through the
Yes.
month of February. So tune into that for all the details.
Yep.
But if you're subscribing, you're already entered. So just subscribe.
Yep.
Get your friends to subscribe. Sign up other people to subscribe and then take their pick of the prizes.
And we'll be announcing the winner for Abomination.
Yep.
Oh.
Because that
soon.
contest is over, so
Yes.
the winner will be
There
announced
will
shortly.
be a video for that.
Yeah. So keep an
coming
eye out
up.
for that with our friends from the Board Game Mechanics.
Board
Yep.
Game Mechanics,
They're
they're
pretty
pretty
okay.
okay.
Jinx.
They are
Got you
pretty
this time.
Okay. Always, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know.
Ring the bell.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Hooty
Thumbs up.
hoo.
Yeah.
Find us on Facebook. Also, check out our other shows on the Game Talk Network, like Miniatures Rundown. They're pretty okay, too.
They're more ugly, okay. No.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'm just sorry.
Okay, look, we're just distancing ourselves. And so
The
for
show is good, but
for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Dan.
And I've been Spencer.
Maybe we'll see you next time. I don't know.
I know Spencer the least, and even I knew.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.